So today, how would you feel about having a reflective discussion? Would that be okay? Have you ever found yourself feeling like you're lost within yourself, right? Now this might seem like a bit of an abstract idea. Please, before you go judging me, let me kind of take a few moments to unpack this. Losing ourselves. Have you ever found yourself lost in work? Or lost in a situation, or lost in a problem, or lost in an experience, or lost in the movies, or lost whilst eating your favourite meal, or something like this, or lost in an opinion, or lost in a perspective, or lost in an ideology. There's this idea that what we focus on the most in life, we have this tendency of naturally gravitating towards. So if we focus on that which is good, on that which is useful, on that which is valuable, of that which builds us up, on that which is productive, that which is valuable, then we tend to live quite progressive and naturally, healthy lifestyles. But many people don't. Some people these days kind of go through life and they get lost in trying to justify themselves, trying to prove themselves, trying to make a name for themselves, trying to over-enhance themselves. And I want to boldly propose here that all of this stems from people's innate sense of insecurity, right? When a person is not secure in who they are on an identity level, right? There's a big difference between identity and personality, by the way, all right? I like to propose that our identity must always be based in virtue. All right, and why do I say this? Well, if you think about it, none of us have a say in when we're born. It's not like any of us ask to be born, right? We're just kind of landed here. So we're here, we're in this world. The one commonality that we all share is that we're all imperfect human beings. So some people go through life beating themselves up because of their imperfections. Not skilled enough, not talented enough, not good looking enough, not this enough, not that enough. I'm sure you can relate in some way. And we generally learn that we're not quite sufficient in some way when we're going through school, right? If we then experience a few validations, as we kind of go through our careers, maybe in relationships, something like this, we maybe don't get that promotion that we wanted. And what happens? What's our default way of thinking? Oh, I knew I wasn't enough. I knew I wasn't going to cut the grade or something like this. Because so often, it's so easy to kind of get lost in this defeatist mindset, all right? Now, this isn't the case for all of us, all right? But it is common, right? I've had to work really, really hard to move beyond this over the years. For possibly 15 years of my life, I became so completely lost within myself, right? Going through my latter teens and my 20s, I spent 10 years in the military, as you most likely are aware, and I'd come to define myself as being a soldier. I became lost in this role because I knew exactly what I meant to be a soldier. I knew how my sense of humour should be. I could tick that box. I knew how to conduct myself. I could tick that box. I knew how hard I should work. I could tick that box. I knew how to get out of bed at a certain time in the morning. I could tick that box. I knew how to conduct myself with my military camaraderie. I could tick that box. And I'd learned to tick all these boxes and conduct myself in such a way which served me great when I was still serving in the military. But the moment that I left, I ended up having made this life transition completely unprepared. I was still completely lost in being a soldier. But now that I was no longer a soldier, I had absolutely no idea how to be. So this ended up kind of coming at the cost of my self-esteem, my confidence, and whilst I done my best to transition into different careers, different vocations in sales, business development, marketing, I even got into banking at some point, nothing was ever kind of ticking the box for me. And the reason being is because whilst I'd changed my professional vocation, my mindset and my mentality hadn't yet made that transition. I hadn't yet crossed that bridge. So on one level here, we're kind of talking about transitional thinking. And what we can really kind of back this up with saying is that if we are lost in a fixed identity, i.e. we define ourselves in a completely inflexible or rigid way, I am gay, I am a professional, I am this, I am the entrepreneur, I am a soldier, I am the business person. We're boxing ourselves in, right? And who likes to be boxed in these days? No one does. But yet, 9 times out of 10, we are the guilty parties of boxing ourselves in. And the problem with using terminologies like the ones I've just shared, it doesn't matter what people's lifestyle choices are, that's irrelevant. What is relevant is if we define ourselves on an identity level in a restrictive way, in a way that doesn't give us opportunity to grow or improve or become more, we're looking forward to frustration, to all sorts of issues. So, all right, we become liberated in our thinking when we can begin to identify with virtues. All right, now this might seem like a bit of an abstract idea for some people, but rather than defining yourself by your role or by your preferences or by your sexual orientation, or these days some people are defining themselves by the gender. My goodness, good luck with that. All right, instead, see if you could practice identifying in virtue. Now you're going to have to take some time to figure out for yourself what this means, because I could teach you, I could spell it all out, but I guess you wouldn't necessarily learn so much from this. So what is virtue? Virtues are simply all of the positive attributes and characteristics that we can operate out of in life. For example, generosity. For example, personable. For example, oh my goodness, here we go, put in the spot. I can only think of 2. Fine example I'm setting today. Right? Think about the opportunity that you have to drive your own personal growth. Right? Now, personal growth is very, very different from professional development or learning a new skill. Right? It's one thing becoming extremely skilled in a whole range of different areas, but then it's something else growing in character, growing in humility, growing in generosity, growing in kindness, growing in creativity. Some people think creativity is a skill set. That's not a skill set. Creativity is something that we either are or it's something that we aren't, all right? Some people would say, but I'm not creative. Well, decide, choose to be. Grow to be more virtuous, grow to be more creative, all right? Take a chance, take a risk, get outside the comfort zone and do something that really you don't feel comfortable in doing, for this is how we grow. And this is how we can get outside of this box, and this is how we can actually begin to live significantly more exciting, more future-focused, and more compelling lifestyles. So, what are you going to take from this? Well, I guess it's entirely up to you. Listen, I'm not here to give you all of the answers. I'm just here to ask a couple of questions that are going to hopefully spark a little bit of thought within you.